Her name was Linda. She was 58 years old. She had a master's degree, a steady job, and a salary most Americans would envy. She did everything right. And when she died in 2019, she left behind $114,000 in debt. Not from gambling. Not from reckless spending. Not from any mistake you could point to and say, that's where she went wrong. Just from living in America. Linda grew up in Columbus, Ohio, the daughter of a factory worker and a school lunch lady. She was the first person in her family to go to college. Then graduate school. A master's degree in healthcare administration. By her early 30s, she had built a life that looked, by every measure, like success. A good job as a hospital administrator. A salary of $91,000 a year. A modest home in a quiet suburb. A 401k she had been contributing to for over 2 decades. $91,000 annual salary, top 30% of American earners. She wasn't rich. But she wasn't supposed to have to worry about money. Not like this. She paid her bills on time. She had decent health insurance through her employer. She had a financial advisor she trusted. She was, in every sense of the word, responsible. So what happened? What always happens? The system she trusted decided her savings were worth more to someone else. It started with a diagnosis. In 2014, at age 53, Linda was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Not uncommon. Not immediately life-threatening. Manageable, if you can afford to manage it. 37 million Americans have diabetes. Total annual cost of treatment, over $327 billion. Her insurance covered most of her treatment. Most. But American health insurance has a language all its own. A language built from words like deductible, copay, out-of-pocket maximum, prior authorization. Not covered. In her first year of treatment, Linda paid $4,200 out of pocket, above and beyond her insurance premiums. She put it on her credit card. She'd pay it off by December, she told herself. She didn't. Then, in 2016, her employer switched insurance providers. The new plan had a higher deductible. The medications she'd been taking were no longer covered at the same rate. The average American with diabetes spends $16,752 per year on medical costs, nearly $10,000 more than a person without diabetes. Her out-of-pocket costs doubled. She started cutting other things to compensate. Smaller contributions to her 401k. Skipping the annual car maintenance. Fewer groceries. Less of everything. Meanwhile, her credit card balance, the one she was going to pay off by December, was now $11,000. And growing. At 24% interest. 24% APR on $11,000 equals $2,640 in interest charges per year, before she spent a single new dollar. She did what millions of Americans do. She kept going. She worked harder. She told herself it was temporary. She had no idea it was only the beginning. In March she survived. What came next almost finished what the heart attack started. The total cost of her hospitalization, surgery, and immediate follow-up care, $187,000. Her insurance covered $141,000 of that. She owed the remaining $46,000. $46,000, more than half her annual salary, in medical bills from one event. She called the hospital's billing department. She asked about payment plans. They offered her $900 a month. For 4 years, she was already drowning. She took it. She reduced her 401k contribution to almost nothing. She couldn't afford not to. Then, in 2018, the hospital she worked for was acquired by a private equity firm. Within 6 months, her position was eliminated. She was 57 years old. Workers over 55 who lose their jobs take an average of 40 weeks to find new employment. Many never return to their previous income level. She found a new job. Lower salary. No matching 401k. Worse insurance. The medical bills from her heart attack were still being paid. Her credit card debt had reached $23,000. The $900 monthly hospital payment. The credit card minimums. The new insurance premiums, higher now, with her pre-existing conditions. Her expenses exceeded her income by $600 every single month. $600 monthly deficit times 12 months equals $7,200 deeper in debt every year. With no way to stop it. In 2019, Linda was diagnosed with kidney failure, a complication of her diabetes that her medical team had seen coming for years, but that her insurance had repeatedly declined to authorize preventative treatment for. She needed dialysis 3 times a week. She could no longer work full-time. 8 months later, Linda died. She was 58 years old. She left behind a daughter, 2 grandchildren, and $114,000 in debt that her estate could not cover. Linda's story is not rare. It is not a tragedy born of bad choices or personal failure. It is the story of a system that was built, deliberately, legally, profitably, to extract wealth from people like her. Medical debt is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy in the United States, responsible for over 60% of all bankruptcy filings. 66.5% of all bankruptcies in America are tied to medical issues. That's approximately 530,000 families every single year. The United States spends more on healthcare per person than any other country on earth. Americans have some of the worst health outcomes in the developed world. The insurance company that denied Linda's preventative kidney care reported $15 billion in profit that year. The private equity firm that eliminated her job sold the hospital for a 340% return on investment 18 months later. The credit card company that charged her 24% interest had record earnings in 2018. No one broke a law. No one went to prison. No one was even held responsible. This is how it works. This is the American debt story. We are not telling Linda's story to make you feel helpless. We are telling it so you can see the trap before it closes. Here is what the system doesn't want you to know, and what you can do about it. Protect yourself. 5 steps. 1. Never pay a medical bill without negotiating first. Hospitals bill at 3 to 5x what they accept from insurance companies. If you are uninsured or underinsured, call the billing department immediately. Ask for the self-pay rate or financial assistance program. Hospitals are legally required to offer these. Most people never ask by. 2. Know your insurance before you need it. Read your policy, specifically your deductible, out-of-pocket maximum, and what requires prior authorization. These are the words that will cost you money. Know them now. 3. Build a separate medical emergency fund. Your regular emergency fund is not enough. Open a health savings account, HSA, if you have a high-deductible plan. Contribute to it every month. It grows tax-free and rolls over every year. 4. Treat credit card debt like a medical emergency. Any balance you carry at 20% plus interest is a financial hemorrhage. It will cost you more over time than almost any other financial mistake. Pay it down aggressively before investing. 5. Document everything your insurer denies. Every denial is an opportunity to appeal. Insurance companies deny 1 in 7 claims on the first submission. Over 40% of those denials are overturned on appeal. Always appeal. In writing. With documentation. Linda's story ended in 2019. But the system that built her debt, that's still running. Subscribe. Because these are not horror stories. These are warnings.